Hello, my name is Skip, and this is from the Fourth Row's review of Admission. Now, Admission is about a woman played by Tina Fey called Portia. Now, Portia has been working in the admissions office, Princeton University, for quite a while, so she's kind of jaded as far as the uh, the students that come there because they only take so many students into Princeton every year, and up until this year, they are the number one institution in America. Now, she gets a call one day from John Pressman, and John, he's got a student at his school, a new school in Keene, New Hampshire called the Quest School, that he wants to try and get into Princeton. Now, she's like, okay, whatever, email me. And so she decides she's going to go to some of these schools that she goes to every year, and she makes a trip to Keene, New Hampshire, because that's where her mother lives, Susanna, played by Lily Tomlin. Now, John, played by Paul Rudd, he wants to introduce her to uh, the student, Jeremiah Balakian, so Portia can see what kind of person he is. And the school itself is kind of a little different for her as far as that goes. And her and John hit it off pretty good, and she's interested in Jeremiah. Now, her husband and her are kind of, she likes to put on a strong front that her boyfriend and her are getting along, but he kind of treats her like a dog. Michael Sheen plays the boyfriend, and he's kind of a professor at Princeton, but he's kind of a little odd, and he gives her some bad news, which I'm not going to say because I don't want to give any spoilers. But so this kind of gets Portia a little jaded as well, but she still has a job to do. She's got to find only so many kids that can get into Princeton. Now, Wallace Shawn, he's the dean of admissions of Princeton, and he's unhappy that they've dropped from first to second. So he wants the best of the best, not just a bunch of nobodies. And so Portia, played by Tina Fey, and Corinne have to really do a good job of getting the best students into Princeton. Now, there's a little bit of story that John is trying to get Portia to think about, that maybe that Jeremiah could be her son, and that really throws her for a loop. And she would do some things that she normally wouldn't do, and she would really try to push for Jeremiah to get into Princeton. Now, there's some really good laughs in this movie. I mean, Lily Tomlin, Paul Rudd, Tina Fey. You have some really good comedic talents here, and in the laughs, there aren't a lot of laughs, but there are enough laughs to keep you laughing and interested in this movie. But the core of this movie is that this is a story that can happen to anybody. You know, you don't know what your child's history is when it comes to college. You don't know if they're going to get in or whatever. And so I think a lot of parents and a lot of students, high school students, can relate to this story of trying to get into college and trying to do the best you can and try to come up with the best SAT scores and so forth and whatnot. I mean, Jeremiah is a great student. He tries to do things a little differently than other kids, but he's very, very smart, and he did a great job on his testing and so forth. And so this movie doesn't wrap up with a bow, but I tell you what, I really kind of enjoyed Paul Rudd and Tina Fey and Lily Tomlin in this movie and in their roles, even though everything wasn't wrapped up in a bow and it wasn't a happy, perfectly happy story. I think it was more realistic than a lot of your comedies that are out there. So I'm going to say a minor see it for Admission. This is Skip, and this has been From the Fourth Row's review of Admission.